Hey everyone, this is Tariq Shami, and you're listening to The Love in Amman show. Today we're going through a mix of stories from across Jordan, some emotional, some light, some funny, and one that has opened up a pretty important conversation about tourism. This episode was created with the help of AI. Let's start with a story that really touched people online. A 104-year-old Jordanian grandmother reportedly had her sight restored in a moving medical moment led by Dr. Nancy Khalaf al-Rakad. The photos shared online showed the elderly woman surrounded by Jordanian medical staff in uniform, smiling after the procedure. The post described her as an authentic Jordanian grandmother whose years of farming had affected her vision before doctors helped bring light back to her eyes. And this is one of those stories that people connected with instantly. It was not just about the medical procedure itself, it was about the image of a Jordanian grandmother, the emotional reaction around her smile, and the sense of care and pride shown by the people around her. Online, people were reacting to the story as a symbol of resilience, service, and respect for the older generation. And honestly, when you see the photos, it is easy to understand why. It is a very simple moment, but it carries a lot of emotion. From there, we move to Marj al-Hammam, where a new public space has officially opened. Al-Nashama Park is now open, and it is giving residents a new outdoor destination in Amman. The park was developed across 56 dunams and includes green spaces, walking paths, children's playgrounds, outdoor seating areas, and sports facilities. For families in the area, this is a big addition. It is the kind of space where people can walk, relax, take their kids out, or spend time outdoors without needing to go too far from the neighborhood. And as Amman continues to grow, these kinds of public spaces matter. Parks are not just nice extras, they shape how people experience their city. They give families somewhere to go, they create more breathing room in busy areas, and they make neighborhoods feel more connected. So for Marj al-Hammam, Al-Nashama Park is a welcome addition, especially with its mix of greenery, play areas, seating, and sports facilities. Now, let's move to something a little more internet. Jordanian influencers have been joining a new AI trend ahead of the World Cup, and it is all about giving themselves the full crowd cam treatment. You know that classic football broadcast moment when the camera suddenly pans across the audience and lands on someone in the stands? The dramatic zoom, the reaction, the national team energy, the whole cinematic moment? Well, creators are now recreating that using AI, and Jordanian influencers have been getting in on it too, making AI versions of themselves sitting in the World Cup crowd, wearing Jordan colors, reacting like they are actually at the match, and basically imagining themselves being spotted at the tournament. It is fun, dramatic, and very social media. But there is also a bigger reason this trend feels so relevant here. After Jordan's historic qualification for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, football excitement in the country has been on another level. People are not just waiting for the tournament, they are already imagining what it will feel like when Jordan is on that global stage. So these AI edits are not just random. They are part of the bigger World Cup excitement that has taken over Jordanian social media. And people are already asking, what has been your favorite World Cup moment recreation so far? Now to the main debate of the day. Jordanian creator Hamza Al-Khlaifat has sparked a major conversation after calling out what he sees as serious issues in Jordan's tourism sector. Hamza, who creates content about Jordan and introduces the country to foreign audiences, shared a series of videos discussing why he believes Jordan's tourism numbers do not reflect the country's actual potential. His argument is that Jordan has everything it needs to be a top global destination. It has Petra, Wadi Rum, the Dead Sea, Ajlon, Jerash, Amman, and so many natural, historical, and cultural sites. But in his view, the problem is not Jordan itself. The problem is how Jordan is marketed, organized, and presented. He said that when you compare Jordan to other countries with major tourism industries, the numbers feel much lower than they should be. His point was that Jordan should not be satisfied with limited tourism figures when the country has the kind of landmarks and experiences that can compete globally. And from there, he moved into marketing. Hamza argued that Jordan's tourism sector needs stronger promotion, more serious investment in digital marketing, and better choices when it comes to who is representing the country online. He also said the blame is not only on one side. He criticized some influencers for asking for exaggerated prices, but also criticized official and tourism-related bodies for undervaluing serious content creators or not supporting them properly. So the conversation became bigger than just tourism. it became a debate about how Jordan works with creators, how tourism campaigns are built, and whether the country is using social media in the right way to attract visitors. He also brought up regional instability, saying that yes, war and regional conflict have affected tourism, but they should not be treated as the only reason the sector is struggling. His point was that when tourism depends too heavily on outside visitors without stronger local tourism, better planning, and better digital strategy, the sector becomes vulnerable every time there is a crisis. And then he raised another issue, the experience at some tourist sites. Hamza criticized what he described as weak regulation in certain tourist areas, pointing to random setups, private operators, tents, and poor organization that can affect the experience for both tourists and locals. This part of the conversation really got people talking because many Jordanians have their own opinions about site management, pricing, access, services, and how tourist destinations are maintained. Some people agreed with him and said Jordan needs better tourism marketing, better regulation, and better visitor experiences. Others said the issue is more complicated and that tourism challenges cannot be reduced to influencers, campaigns, or one viral video. But either way, the conversation is important because Jordan really does have incredible tourism potential. The question is how that potential is being supported, promoted, and protected. And finally, we ended the day with a simple reminder, Jordan is beautiful. A short reel by Jocelyn showed off the kind of scenery that makes people stop scrolling for a second. From desert landscapes to mountain views, old streets, and quiet corners, Jordan has a way of looking different depending on where you are standing. Sometimes it is Wadi Rum glowing in the sun. Sometimes it is Ajlun covered in green. Sometimes it is a street in Amman that feels familiar and full of life. And sometimes it is just a small view that reminds you how much beauty this country holds. And that is really the thread connecting a lot of today's stories. Jordan has the beauty, it has the people, it has the stories, it has the history, it has the moments that make people feel something. Whether it is a grandmother getting her sight back, a new park opening for families, creators imagining Jordan at the World Cup, or a public debate about how tourism should be improved, today's stories all come back to the same idea. Jordan has so much to offer. The challenge is making sure it is cared for, shared properly, and experienced in the best way possible. That's it for today's episode of the Love in Amman show. I'm Tariq Shami, thanks for listening, and we'll be back with more stories from around Jordan.
Thank you for tuning in into the Loving Amman podcast as part of the Augustus Media Podcast Network. Please hit that subscribe button wherever you get your podcasts from.